Hi, and you're welcome to Sarah Football. My name is Raphael Banaman Kwoti, and we talk about the Ghana Premier League, most notably Accra Hearts of Oak. So, Accra Hearts of Oak, they were on the brink of relegation the last time out. 3-2, that's how much they managed to beat Bechem United away from home, which secured their Premier League status for next season. But Accra Hearts of Oak, that's one of the two powerhouses in Ghana football, apart from Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And you will ask yourself that how come Accra Hearts of Oak are battling relegation? I mean, against all odds, this did not start just last season or this season. I mean, there has been a myriad of factors that has accounted for Accra Hearts of Oak dismal campaign this season. So, in this particular episode, we speak about the chronicles of Accra Hearts of Oak dismal campaign this season in the ongoing Ghana Premier League and they just ended Ghana Premier League and how they got to this stage. So you look at Heart of Oak and you look at the last few years, their transfer window, the players they signed. I mean, it hasn't all get very well for them because you look at the players they signed some few years ago. These are players that came in. The quality of these players were not the very best. The standard of play that Hearts of Oak were playing were not the best. I mean, you watch Hearts of Oak play and you ask yourself whether these players are under any technical direction. They train under any technical coach. No. Hearts of Oak, they haven't impressed in any way or form in the last few seasons that I've watched them play. And you ask yourself that where is Hearts of Oak going from here? Because they're on the brink of relegation. If they didn't play above their weight levels to win against Bechem United 3-2, I mean, Hearts of Oak would have been relegated because you look at how they were playing against Bechem United in similar position, Great Olympics. I mean, they were scheduled to play Real Tamale United at the Accra Sports Stadium. The latter forfeited the match. It means that they were awarded 3.3 goals. Heart of Lions themselves, they needed a last deck penalty against Brecum Chelsea to secure Premier League status. Karela United, they also moved away from home to Mediama at the Akun Park, and they also needed a very last minute goal to also secure Premier League status. So you ask yourself that if all these things were coming into play and Hearts of Oak didn't win away from home to Bechem United, they would have been relegated, and that would have been doomsday for Ghana Premier League. But this is my 2 cents on Hearts of Oak and what I feel um, going forward should be done. So I look at the recruitment of Hearts of Oak over the last few seasons, and I haven't been impressed with the recruitment that has been done by the board as well as the chairman of the side, Togbe Afede, and also its board members. They haven't impressed in any way or form. I haven't been impressed with some of the signings that have come in to the club. As well, I like to detail on the fact that the technical direction of the side, it hasn't really all get well for them because how is it that you are signing players without a coach? Just last season, House of Hope were doing signings. They were doing signings without any coach because from the bits I know, coach would have to outline his players, his summer targets or winter targets for you to look whether you can get him those players for him to play. But this is the case that Hearts of Oak signed players against any coach's wishes. Coach, that is Watara Abubakar came into the field, came to oversee Hearts of Oak, and you look at the players he had to work with. I mean, if it were any other coach, he would have said that he didn't want to work with these players. But 6 months that he served, I mean, he was on the brink of relegation, and I'm sure that despite his side managing to escape relegation, I mean, he's had some real tough decisions to make in the ongoing Ghana Premier League. He would certainly want to sign better players moving forward for the club. I'm looking at the recruitment. The recruitment has to be done right by Heart of Oak in the next calendar season. I'm looking at the transfer policy that they institute. It has to be done right. The board members, they need to be invested in the affairs of the club. They need to be invested in the welfare of the clubs. Player motivation is something that is very crucial to helping that players are playing above their weight levels for the club. If players are not motivated properly, if wages are not paid promptly, if bonuses are not paid promptly, if you are owing players in terms of salaries and bonuses and allowances, these boys will sabotage you. And we've seen that. We've seen that. Players are not playing to the cause of Hearts of Oak. You ask yourself that, what is happening? I feel that if Hearts of Oak wants to do well next season, if they want to challenge for honors, they have to do a few things right. Recruitment has to be done right. Board members would have to be invested in the affairs of the club. The welfare of the players is something that has to be paramount for them. I'm looking at a host of things that we need to put in place to make sure that Hearts of Oak next season, they are challenging for honors. Samatex, 2 years, they gained promotion to the Ghana Premier League, and now they are playing, they have won the Ghana Premier League. You would ask yourself, what are they doing right? They got their recruitment right. A mixed bag of experience and youthful exuberance when you look at the Samatex side. That's what helped them. I'm also looking at the fact that academy players from the side, they need to be properly groomed to make sure that these are sources of some sort of template for these guys to move from academy to the main first. Isa Hamza, he is one of the players that moved from the academy. He did fantastic for Hearts of Oak. 14 goals he scored for Hearts of Oak, which helped Hearts of Oak to some appreciable level of finishing in the Ghana Premier League. If Hearts of Oak would want to do well next season, they need to get a few things right. And once they do that, it will augur well for them to restore the glory days back for Hearts of Oak. So on this note, this is where I pin down some of the 2 cents I feel Hearts of Oak should do to help them in the next calendar season. If you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, please do so to click on the button below. My name is Rafael Banaman. Keep up alive with sports.